quiet down. Quiet in the back. It's time to tap into fantasy. Welcome to Tap Into Fantasy, the podcast with a professional fantasy mind and an amateur beer palate. I'm Lance Gandy. You can find me on X at LG_fantasy. Everyone, let's raise whatever you're drinking and let's have a toast to our health. May the best drafts of your past be the worst of your future. Let's tap in. So please do me and the podcast a huge favor and rate and review it on whatever platform you're listening on. It helps this nerd reach new fantasy football and beer nerds like you. Okay, so we have a different setup this week. So I'm on vacation at the time you'll be listening to this. I'm in Alaska on a cruise with a bunch of my family. I'll be visiting the Alaskan Brewing Company and rubbing it in your face that I get their amber straight from the tap. So there won't be an opening draft this episode. Instead, I'm recording a DraftKings $15 million best ball tournament entry. Okay, so let's go over a few things before we get to that. Please go check out the website at tapintofantasy.com. I changed the rankings on the site up a bit. I'm just going to have one Google sheet with all of my rankings in PPR, half PPR, and standard scoring. It's sort of a draft companion that has strength of schedule, tiers, and a little write-up for every player ranked. You can use the PPR rankings alongside your best ball draft on DraftKings or half PPR rankings on Underdog. So that's what I have up on my screen right now, as you can see, to prepare for this draft. Actually, you can't see it. It's on a different screen, but you can see the DraftKings website and the Fantasy Pros Week 17 schedule, so I can make sure to get some correlation. Okay, I want to let you know that this episode is powered by Dubby Energy. I've been using Dubby for a few months now when I need that little boost in the afternoon, or I'm in a DraftKings draft and I need a little help for my hangover to kind of get through it. It's clean energy, so you feel good about drinking it too. Use promo code TAPINTOFANTASY for 10% off at checkout. Happy pours, happy scores. So I'm actually drinking a little Dubby to get through this draft today. Okay, so as you'll see, I have, like I said, the Week 17 schedule up. I have my rankings, my PPR rankings on another screen just so I can refer to those. So I actually have a free ticket to enter the Millie Maker tournament. If you buy an entry into it, then you get a free one. So it's a great promo they're running right now. So I would suggest you take advantage of it like I am. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter this. All right, it looks like we have pick 6 in this one. There's really not a position I hate to draft in this year in the first round. I think pick 6 is better than, say, pick 1 or something like that, but I probably prefer the back end of the first round just because it's sort of a flat tier of players this year. But, you know, I don't mind pick 6, and I haven't drafted here a lot, so this will be good. So with my rankings, I'm probably hoping one of Bijan or Gibbs falls. If they don't, I really don't mind taking CD here. I actually have him ranked over Justin Jefferson, so I wouldn't mind that at all. Or even taking Puka, because I haven't taken a lot of him at all this year so far. And I mean, he could easily go off this year. I'm just worried about his injury history and the injury history of Matt Stafford. So we'll see how that works out. I'm a little lower on Christian McCaffrey. I'm just scared that he's not the same player he used to be. I don't know, that Achilles tendonitis and all of that. He may not have the burst he used to. He's also 29 this year, so he's getting close to that cliff. And I also just think they pass it more this year. with Purdy. So I'm a little lower on him than most people. Him and Neighbors, I'm lower on. All right, so the draft has started. It looks like they went Bijan second. That's how I have it ranked. So Saquon and Gibbs are still there. Let's hope one of them makes it back to us. All right, so they went Jameer. I'm guessing they take Saquon here, and I'll be fine with CD. And there's always like one player per draft that just auto drafts the whole time. Like, I don't know why you would get in this Millie Maker if you're just gonna auto draft everything. But okay, so he took Saquon. I think it was auto draft. So we'll go ahead and do CD for this pick. And what I do after that is, and this gives me, pick six gives me a lot of time to actually go through a bunch of things, so that's good. So the Cowboys play the Commanders, as you can see. So I'd like to get some sort of bring back on that, and that could easily be a high scoring game on Christmas. I mean, they're both potentially really good offenses. Yeah, I could see that actually going off, and I could see them both kind of fighting for either a wild card spot or the fighting for the division. I'm guessing Philly wins it, but it could easily fall that way. So that could be a good correlation there. So the draft's going pretty much chalk right now. Let's see, they just took Genty at pick 11. All right, so I really want a running back in the top 3 rounds. I'd probably rather go running back in round 2. I'm hoping, I'm guessing Achan won't get to us at pick 19. I wouldn't mind going Bowers. I haven't gotten much of him this year. I also wouldn't, I'm a little lower on Jonathan Taylor, but I don't know if I've clicked his name once this year, so I wouldn't be opposed to it in this draft. I'm just down on the whole Colts offense pretty much, but I would like a running back in this round or the next one. So I could go Jonathan Taylor or Josh Jacobs or even AJ Brown. And that even kind of correlates with CD just because they'll play twice this year. So if those games are high scoring, that's good for me. Right, it's coming up on our pick. So we have Drake London. They just picked AJ Brown. So Drake London has fallen a little bit, and I haven't been able to get much of him yet. Just wondering whether I should push back running back to round 3. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So we took Drake London with that pick, and so we're not picking again until pick 30. So I'll be hoping a Chase Brown kind of drops there. I wouldn't mind getting a Kyron Williams, possibly. But, it depends on how this board shakes out. I mean, I don't want to force anything. I don't want to force running back, even though they seem to be dropping pretty far in this one. Let's see. Okay, so they took Jonathan Taylor. They took Trey McBride. Then, so Bucky's slipping a little bit. That would be crazy if we could get like a Josh Jacobs in round 3. That would be perfect. As you saw on a previous episode, the running backs episode, that I'm very high on him this year. I wouldn't mind going even Lamar if he drops. I know we have CD, but I could do Lamar and then bring it back with Dak later on. God, if we can, Jacobs is dropping. If we could get him, or even if we could get Tyreek, that would be huge too. I mean, those are both round 2 picks, and they just took Josh Jacobs. And this Prince Bogey is an auto drafter who's gonna get Tyreek. He's going to, isn't it? He's gonna auto draft Tyreek. Such a bastard. Oh, he didn't. He went Marvin Harrison. Okay. Well, plans have changed. I mean, Tyreek has fallen this far, and I don't think even the ADP has caught up to where he should be ranked based on that Jonnu trade. Yeah, let's go Tyreek. And wow. So yeah, I mean, it's not a wild statement to say that the 3 receivers that I've started with, CD, Drake London, and Tyreek Hill could be the top 3 in the NFL. It's not crazy to say that. So I like to start off. I'm usually a pretty heavy running back kind of guy, so I haven't started this way yet. So we'll see how this build goes. So really need a running back now, or I could potentially go tight end if Kittle falls, but I really want a running back. So I'm at pick 43 in round four, and I'm curious to see how far Rashee Rice falls in this one. In my rankings now, I have him I have him at 25. I think he ultimately ends up lower than that in rankings, but I think he could be really good in the fantasy playoffs. Um, okay, so they just took Rice at 36, I believe. Kittle went off the board pretty early. He should, but I was hoping he'd drop. All right, so we're looking at, I would love if Jaden Daniels could drop, then it would definitely have some correlation with the week 17 game. So I like to look at the top three players and see who they play in week 17. So Miami with the Tyreek pick, they play Tampa Bay, and Atlanta plays the Rams. So if we can get someone from one of those three teams, um, yeah, I would like to even reach a few picks for someone on those teams just for a little week 17 correlation. All right, so McLaurin and Jaden Daniels are dropping a little bit. If we could get Jaden, I'll be all over that. And he dropped. Wow. So James Cook and Jaden have dropped. I think I'm going Jaden, and we're just gonna have, I don't know. Maybe we'll have a zero or a B build on this. We'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. And the next round, we're at, let's see, 54. I'm guessing McLaurin is dropping just because it came out today that he didn't show up to training camp because of his holdout for a new contract. So that scares me a little bit with him and a little bit with Jaden Daniels. It's just not a good history of people who have held out of camp. I mean, it happens to at least a player a year where they hold out of camp and they just come out just not playing well or not on the same page or not in shape. Um, yeah, so that scares me a little bit with him. So Debo also scares me though. The supposed wide receiver too on the Commanders. Okay, so this draft's going pretty fast. James Cook is still on the board, so that would be an easy click for me. And if not him, then I would go Kenneth Walker. Wow, that would be a huge drop to get Cook right here. And we're one pick away. This Prince Bogey has been not the most fun to have ahead of me. And James Cook falls 14 spots to us, so that's an easy click. Even though I'm not as high on him, so we can see he did report to training camp, but he won't be a full participant. So that's at least partially good news for him. I wasn't sure if he would or not. Okay, so we have a running back. That is good news that we won't be going zero running back. I'm not a huge zero running back guy. I just think so much has to fall correctly for you to win in those builds. And it just hasn't seemed to work too well in past winners of these kind of tournaments. I haven't seen a winner do a zero running back build. Um, so I like the hero running back kind of thing, which usually you want to get one in the first three rounds for that kind of build. But this is just kind of how the board fell to us. So, okay, so Joe Mixon is dropping right now. I don't really like to go with the mid-rank tight ends like after the elites. So maybe 4 through 8 or something like that. I just think it's such a flat tier from like 4 through, say, I don't know, 14 or so on tight ends that I just don't think Laporta outscores like a Jake Ferguson or like a Dalton Kincaid or someone like that enough to draft him here. So I haven't been getting a lot of Laporta or TJ Hawkinson or anything like that. Okay, so Joe Mixon has been dropping a lot. You can see it says he's been progressing well. I kind of take that with a grain of salt from his ankle injury that he had earlier. Okay, so he was taken. I haven't been taking a lot of Travion Henderson, and he just dropped to us. But I think I'm gonna go Debo because he's gonna get fed if Terry McLaurin sits out any games or uh, if he's out of shape or anything. So I think we're going Debo here just to get that stack with Jaden. I'm not high on Debo. I think he was kind of washed last year, but he'll get a lot of easy screens and things like that. And, Jaden has to throw it to someone. So their wide receiver three, what is his name? Noah, I can't even think of his name right now, but it doesn't much matter because he's hurt for most or all of the year. He used to be on the Cowboys, so I don't know how I can't even think of his name. So I don't know who the wide receiver three is going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be one of Luke McCaffrey or Jalen Lane, the rookie. So we could take one of those flyers with like the last pick of our draft if we want to. And I may do that. I mean, it's a little scary that McLaurin's not reporting yet. All right, so we're coming up on pick 78 for us. I would like to try to get a bring back in week 17 sometime soon if I can. We already have the Cowboys Commanders week 17 correlation. If we could get maybe a Buccaneer or a Ram, that would be nice. So it's coming up on us pretty quickly. And all right, it's on us. We have Aaron Jones, Isaiah Pacheco, Steph Diggs. I've been hearing good things about Steph Diggs. We don't have to take Dak yet, so I think I'm going to go Aaron Jones. I think JJ McCarthy is going to love him in the passing game this year. I'm about even with the market on Jones. I'm not super high on him. I think Jordan Mason has a role this year, a decent size one, and Pacheco has gone up in cost recently. So I was getting him earlier, so I have enough of him. So we'll go with Jones on this one. So right now our build is uh one QB, two running backs, and four receivers. And I don't hate that start. I'm trying to push tight end. I could go maybe like a Jake Ferguson later to pair with CD, and hopefully we get Dak also. Or I could even do just an earlier tight end I like a Tucker Craft or a Dallas Goddard or someone like that, and then get Zach Ertz later on to pair with Jaden and Debo. All right, so we're at pick 91 now. So it's coming up on us pretty quick. So Ricky Pearsall is dropping, and so is TJ Hawkinson and Tony Pollard. So Dak is 98th in ADP. We're at pick 91. I kind of want to push it until our 102 pick, just because I wouldn't mind not getting Dak and getting someone like a Michael Penix or a Tua or someone like that to pair with Drake London. Okay, so we're on the clock. Ricky Pearsall has dropped significantly. That may be because people are scared of his hamstring injury. It's saying he's about to come off PUP, so I'm not too worried about it, and he could easily be wide receiver one on this team. So I think I'm going to go him. Bye weeks line up pretty well. And then we'll see if Dak drops to us. If he does, that's an auto click at 102. If he doesn't, we'll kind of push off QB we could do a Penix, which is in a few rounds, or a Tua, or I could even, with the Pearsall pick just then, try to go Brock Purdy at 102. I wouldn't mind that either. We'll see how the board drops. Right now it's Josh Downs and Kyler Murray and Darnell Mooney sort of dropping. I'm really high on Josh Downs, so that would be a pretty easy click if he dropped all the way to 102. I don't think he'll get many touchdowns, but I think he'll be a safe floor play I think Daniel Jones starts this year. So I think he's going to be Daniel Jones, Wandale, and he's so much better than Wandale that I think he could be pretty decent. So we're still looking for a tight end. It's not a great range that I love. Yeah, I don't like the mid-range tight ends. And the next one coming up is, well, it's Tyler Warren now, which I'm super low on. Okay, it's our pick, and Josh Downs fell to us, but so did Dak. That's a tough one. Yeah, I think I'll just stick with the stack and go Dak. Okay, so we took Dak at 102. The normal optimum build for a DraftKings team is three QBs. I'm tempted to go only two just because we got an elite one in Jaden, and then we got Dak, which is a pretty early second running back or a second QB. So we'll see how it drops, how the board drops. We may just go two QB and just go maybe four later tight ends and try to piece that together. Darnell Mooney is still not taken. He's over a round and a half later than his ADP. That would be sick if he fell to us. I doubt it though. I'm interested to see also where Judkins goes in this one. He's been trending down, but I don't think he's down far enough. Like he's around J.K. Dobbins, Cam Scatterbo, Zach Charbonnet. I don't mind that range, but you just don't know what's going to happen with him, you know? You don't know. I mean, he could be out at least half the season. I'm just not sure. Um, yeah, I mean, he hasn't even signed yet, so I'm not sure on that one. And I don't like to take risks on the suspended players, especially on offense as bad as Cleveland. So, wow. So Mooney still has not been taken. That would be an awesome stack with a Drake London if we could get him at 115, and then they finally took him. That was about two rounds past where he goes. All right. So we're coming up at pick 115. I'd hate this part of the draft. Absolutely hate it. Okay. So Judkins fell to us. I really don't want any part of him. There's J.K. Dobbins on the board. I'm not big on Cam Scatterbo this year. Javante, I mean, it would be a Cowboys stack with him, so I could kind of see it, but I think I'm gonna go Dobbins just being on the better offense, and I think he has some standalone value and some contingency upside. Like I could even see Javante Williams not even starting for Dallas. It may even be Miles Sanders, but I don't think he scores a lot anyway, even if he does start. I think they're just going to be super happy, which is why I'm glad to get Dak and CD. But if he falls to us next round, I wouldn't be opposed to getting him then. So we're up next at pick 126. Brandon Ayuk has not been chosen yet. I don't think I've clicked his name once this whole summer. I just hate the vibes out of him and the 49ers. I mean, he's just been calling him out on Twitter, and they said they have no idea when he's going to be back or ready. He's going to have no training camp. He's going to be coming off a horrible injury. So I really don't want anything to do with him. Okay, we're coming up next. Tucker Kraft. I've been clicking on him just way too much this year. We could go with Marvin Mims, who I don't love. Najee, there's been no news out of Chargers training camp about his eye, so who knows with that. I think I've been moving Hampton up, I don't know, more and more with no news. Okay, so we're on the board. This part of the draft. I could, I could see going Goddard. I could probably get next round. I don't love Stevenson. I think I'm just gonna go Kraft, and then yeah, and then we can piece together some kind of backup tight end stack with like a Zach Ertz or a Jake Ferguson or something. So they're going pretty close to each other, so I think we should be able to get one of them. So we pick 139. Wouldn't be too early for Ferguson. I wouldn't mind doing that. And then 150 the next round, you could possibly get a Zach Ertz. So we'll see how it lands on that. Players dropping right now, really only CJ Stroud, and we're good on QBs. So our build right now is two QBs, three running backs, five receivers, one tight end, It's the part of the draft where you start looking at week 17 correlation. We could look at correlating the Drake London we have with a Rams player, or Miami plays Tampa Bay. So we can start to look for those kind of players. I wouldn't mind going a Rashad White here. I think he has a little bit of value, standalone value, and then could be really good with a Bucky injury. All right, so CJ Stroud still hasn't been taken. I think I would go Rashad White here if he falls to us at next pick. If not, okay, yeah, he did. He did fall to us, so I think we're going there. The bye weeks line up fine. All right, so we got a Rashad White, and he'll have some usable weeks with Bucky in there. But yeah, I mean, he would be really good with Bucky injured. All right, so next pick is 150, which is where if Jake Ferguson falls, I'll probably take him. It would only be a 4-spot fall, so that's not much. If not, we could do Zach Ertz for that also, so that's probably where I'll be looking. And I wouldn't even mind going, okay, never mind. I was thinking Michael Penix, but he just got taken finally. So they're at pick 144, 6 picks ahead of us. Tua hasn't been taken yet. Yeah, I also wouldn't mind doing that. Jonnu Smith's ADP is finally dipping far enough to where you could think about taking him. I still don't think he's quite where he's going to end up. I think he falls sort of in the, I don't know, maybe a round later than he's going now. So Tua's falling. I wouldn't mind taking him. I don't love Darren Waller, that whole thing. It just never works out when they take that much time off and come back. So he's the new tight end for Miami, supposedly. All right. Tua still hasn't been taken. It took both of our tight ends. Kind of irks me. Okay, so I think he has the same buy as, okay, we're going to it's not great that he has the same buy as Jaden Daniels, but we do have Dak for that exact reason. But Tua pairs with our Tyreek pick. We didn't get the stack on tight ends. That's a little annoying, but DraftKings can be like that. I mean, Jonnu hasn't been taken yet, so his ADP is probably going to go down another round or so into, I'd say probably round 14 sounds about right. So we need another wide receiver. So on DraftKings, you start 3 receivers and you start a flex. Usually I start a wide receiver at flex, so you're really probably starting 4 receivers, and we only have 5 at this point. So we need to start hitting on some receivers, and there are some I like late. I really like Cedric Tillman. I think he could be a lot closer to Jerry Jeudy in the pecking order in Cleveland than his ADP would suggest. I wouldn't mind a Brenton Strange share. I'm not as high on Jack Besh. We could go, say, with a Romeo Dobbs. I don't love him, but he's pretty steady, and he'll be out there probably in 2 receiver sets for Green Bay. But Cedric Tillman would be the pick if he drops to us. Just one more pick. Come on, baby. All right, he dropped to us. So Tillman is the pick, and his buy lands pretty nicely. So I'm not trying to force these week 17 correlations. It's just kind of more of a tiebreaker than anything. And we already do have a good amount with the Cowboys Commanders stacks that we have. So I'm not trying to force it. If I do see a Ram or a Buccaneers player that I like, I could take them. Maybe at tight end or something, like a K. Dotton, I could see going for next pick. I'm actually higher on him than consensus, just with the Godwin injury and all of that. And he ran super hot on touchdowns last year. So he was tight end 12 in points per game. He's now going in round 15. So I wouldn't mind that pick. And we probably need, in the next 2 picks, a tight end and another receiver. So at tight end, it's either Mike Gesicki or Cade Otton or Chig Okonkwo. I do like me some Chig this year, but to get that week 17 correlation, I think we're going to go Cade Otton at running back. No, I'm sorry, a receiver. There's not much I like in this area, so I'm just going to go with Cade Otton. His bye week is fine too, so yeah, that's where we're going to go. Okay, so the next pick should probably be a receiver. If there's a running back that drops that I like an Algier, if he dropped, I would definitely grab him, but I would rather pick a receiver. See what we got here. I wouldn't mind a Demario Douglas, who's going to be kind of a high floor player for New England. He'll start in the slot. We're at 187. I could see getting Keenan Allen. I think his ADP hasn't risen, and I think he'll probably go to someone like the Chargers or someone like that, where he could play a lot, be a pretty useful player. So Nick Chubb is dropping. I just think he's had too many injuries. I don't think he can come back from another devastating injury like that. He's already come back from a few, like that nasty one in college that he had. So I just don't think he has anything left. Yeah, I mean, I think if he didn't look good in camp, I think he's a candidate to get cut. But he is dropping to us here. So it's one pick until us, and Nick Chubb is still there in round 16. Yeah, I mean, there's no news on him. I'm not sure why he's dropping this far. His bye week is fine. All right, I guess let's take a chance on a Chubb. Let's go Chubb it. So I went Nick Chubb. I think we're good on running backs unless we see one in like the 19th or 20th round we want to take. But we need to hit receiver a couple times, and we need another tight end. So at tight end, we have Tucker Kraft and Cade Otton. So our tight end room actually looks pretty good for late round tight end, but I definitely want to get at least one more, and I wouldn't mind going 4 in this build. But we did go 3 QB, so it would be kind of hard to go 4 in this build because we need at least one more receiver, and I would like to make it 2 because we were pretty heavy on wide receiver at the start. So I don't want to go too heavy on the back end with receiver just because we had such a heavy start. At running back, we probably need another one by the end, just with how light we were at the beginning and with Chubb just being a complete unknown. So I'd like to get one of those high upside late ones, like a Brashard Smith would be nice, or Devin Neal, Taj Brooks, someone in that mold. So I think so we're up next. It's really Michael Wilson from Arizona or Keenan Allen, probably. And I mean, Keenan Allen may just be washed and not land with anyone. I tend to think he's going to sign with the Chargers, just nostalgia-wise, and the fact that Mike Williams retired. Michael Wilson has such a cap. I think Allen could be decently useful in the slot for like a good QB, like a Herbert. So I think I'm going to go there. All right, so we have 7 receivers now. So the next 2 picks, I'd like to be another running back and another tight end. So we can see if we have any correlation. I wouldn't mind going with like a Terrence Ferguson or Tyler Higbee of the Rams, so we can have that Falcons correlation in week 17. I really like Elijah Arroyo also now with Fant getting dropped from Seattle. All right, so I think the top pick this time, if he drops to us, would probably be Brashard Smith, rookie from KC. Been hearing good things about him, and he just has a receiving profile that I think would stand out on the Chiefs. So I think he could see some work. And if Pacheco goes down again, I think he could potentially be a starter. I mean, you remember the whole Carson Steele thing last year. He started for whatever it was, 2 games or something, but still, he was an undrafted dude starting on the Chiefs. So I could see Brashard Smith getting some work this year. Jarquez Hunter, I'm still not sure if he'd be RB2. I don't know if it'd be Corum or Hunter. They're going pretty close together right now, and they just took Corum. So I think the pick for me would be, and they just sniped me. Wonderful. We're going to go Smith. He got sniped, so Jarquez may be the pick here. I think he is. His bye week lines up. We have the Falcons correlation in week 17, so I'm just gonna go with Jarquez Hunter. And I think that's good for us on running backs. We have six of them now. So what I'd like to do is get either two tight ends in the last two rounds or a tight end and another receiver. We'll kind of see how it shakes out. I do like Jatavian Sanders. And our next pick is at 222. So if he drops a couple picks, that might be the go-to, either him or a Terrence Ferguson. You can go Higbee. I just don't think he has really any upside. I just see Ferguson having a ton of upside in this offense, even though rookie tight ends are just kind of a flyer pick because they don't pan out that often. And they took Sanders. That was a good pick. Well, we could also go receiver this pick. If Ferguson makes it to us, I think that's going to be my choice. And we're good on buys with him. So yeah, I think I'm going to go Terrence Ferguson on this one. Okay, so last round is coming up. We're pick 235, and it really doesn't matter in these last few rounds if just go get your dude. If he's ADP 300, just go do it. Live your life. All right. So who do we have at receiver right now? Tutu Atwell is there. That's another Rams stack we could make with Ferguson and Jarquez Hunter and have that week 17 correlation with Drake London. But I tend to think that Jordan Whittington would actually be the wide receiver to own if Puka or Devontae Adams got hurt. And I think it's a really high likelihood that they do. I mean, Devontae Adams is going into his age 32 year, and Puka just has been injured even since his college days. That's why he was drafted so low. That and he was slow at his pro day, but obviously that's mattered, huh? So I think what I'm gonna do is go with Luke McCaffrey. Highly doubt he gets drafted. He usually doesn't. It's either gonna be him or it's gonna be Jalen Lane to be the wide receiver 3. My bet is probably McCaffrey. And I mean, Debo's also, has an injury history, so I could see him actually getting a lot of run in Washington this year. Noah Brown, that's his name. Noah Brown's the one that's injured for Washington. So they're still looking for a wide receiver 3, and who knows with Terry McLaurin and his holdout, who knows with Debo and his uh chunky ways in camp. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the video. He looks like he'd been eating good there. And he's also just been hurt a lot lately. And I don't know, just seemed to lack explosiveness last year. So I could see McCaffrey doing some things this year. Right, it's our pick. McCaffrey is there. So I'm going to go ahead and take him. And that is the draft for us. Okay, so the build we have is 3 QBs, 6 running backs, 8 receivers, 3 tight ends. That's a pretty normal build. That's probably the optimal build that you want. You could do 5 running backs, 9 receivers. It just depends on where you went with your first few picks and so where you're strong at. We were strong at receiver since our first 3 or 4 picks were at receiver, so I went with 6 running backs. Let's look at the team here. So we have Jaden Daniels, James Cook, Aaron Jones, CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, Tyreek Hill, Tucker Kraft, Debo Samuel, Ricky Pearsall, Dak Prescott, J.K. Dobbins, Rashad White, Tua Tagovailoa, if I can say that, Cedric Tillman, Cade Otton, Nick Chubb, Keenan Allen, Jarquez Hunter, Terrence Ferguson, and Luke McCaffrey. So I liked this draft. We got sniped a couple times on, I don't know, some picks that I would have liked, but for the most part, I really like this draft. So now you see how my mind works in a draft. So, yeah, I hope you got something useful out of this. But that's going to do it for this episode of Tap Into Fantasy. If you liked what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the show find other degenerates like you. And hit me up on X at LG_fantasy. Thanks for tapping in. And until next time, happy pours, happy scores.